Welcome back to the show, everybody. We have another drive time episode for you. It's Wednesday morning. Hope you're having a great week, midweek. Big game coming up today, Liverpool versus Bayern Munich. Really looking forward to that. But this is a update transfer show, if you like. I'm going to be talking about all the latest transfer news and stuff like that. Please, if you could subscribe to the channel, the upper tier of course, and if you could hit the bell notification and drop a like on the video as well, we'd really appreciate it. As you can see from the thumbnail there, three guys that are going to be dominating the talk in the transfer window at the moment and stuff like that. Again, I know I've cut back on doing a lot of these transfer shows now because it's just getting boring at this stage. Loads of bodies exiting to Saudi Arabia for that good bag and stuff like that, but certainly in the actual transfer window at the moment, it's just circling around the same 7-8 names day in, day out, to the point where it's getting taxing and tiring even talking about it at this stage, you know. So, but let's get into it. Let's talk about what's being done and what has to be done. Don't forget as well, tomorrow night 8 o'clock, myself and Dazzler will be live on the channel. We'll be going through all the transfer business ins and outs that all the Premier League teams have done. So make sure you bookmark that, hit that bell notification so you know when we go live, and come into the chat and let us know what your team has done business wise, how you feel about the business they've done, and we might even have a look and see what our predictions might be for, say, the European places this season and also the relegation zone. So let us know your thoughts on that. A lot of teams out there still haven't done any major business and stuff like that, and have also leaked players as well. So let us know your thoughts. But let's get into this. Fabinho's move to Saudi Arabia to Al Ittihad has been confirmed. We wish him well. What a player he was for us. 5 years at the club. Absolutely unbelievable as a DM. As I spoke yesterday on the Liverpool update show, I remember him coming into the club one minute, he just suddenly appeared, Michael Edwards doing a mad thing over the weekend and bringing in Fabinho, who looked like he was guaranteed on his way to United. But how that trajectory changed Liverpool's successes once he came in, we just became a different team. Such a vital role. And when we look back at that period as well, it's weird because if you look at how we're acting in the market now in relation to that number 6, is very strange really when you think about it, because it's such a vital position on the pitch. The link between the midfield, the link between the defence, I should say, and the forward line, while shoring up the midfield, you know, that, you know, press countering, all that kind of stuff. Just crazy that we're fannying around in this area and stuff like that. Really acting silly, Liverpool. But he goes over there and he joins a midfield of Kante as well. So Kante and Fabinho, what a midfield that is, of course, and Benzema up front now. Saudi Arabia really starting to look like something special in the way they're accumulating these bodies. And we know about another big deal that they look like they might try and pull off as well. Maybe the player may or may not have the appetite, but we'll talk about it later in the show. Levi Colwill looks like he's about to put pen to paper on a 6-year deal with Chelsea, 100k plus a week. Great contract for the lad, brilliant business for Chelsea. Obviously sat down and had the meeting with Poch. Poch laid out that he's obviously big in Poch's plans, stuff like that. Fabulous player. This guy has it all at such a young age. And it's good to see Chelsea showing that intent as well. Liverpool heavily linked with him, really wanted the boy. Dare I say, to the point where we spoke to him when we probably shouldn't have, but that's neither here nor there. But looks like he's re-signing for Chelsea, putting pen to paper. Probably a great move for the lad as well. So, but has that had that effect on the Caicedo deal? With them not being open to him going to Brighton, he was fabulous last season for Brighton. Is that what's caused this Caicedo deal with Brighton now? Have Brighton veered away and they just kind of don't want to deal with Chelsea now? Or let us know your thoughts on that. Has there been a kind of a link there? Was Colwill looking at potentially as part of the Caicedo deal, but when Chelsea didn't want to know, they shut down any talks at all about selling the boy to any club? Is that where Brighton said, all right, you do that, no problem, you ain't getting our midfielder? But let us know your thoughts, where they linked. Sounds like it could have been, you know. Kylian Mbappe's future, good lord, linked with Spurs, linked with United, linked with Chelsea. Apparently Chelsea are working on a deal. This lad is only going to end up at Real Madrid, isn't he? I mean, let's be honest here. But the real question is, can he go back into that PSG locker room now with everything that's gone on? Will that be acceptable to PSG players and stuff like that? Let us know your thoughts on that. Where does he end up? It looks like Real Madrid this year haven't got the money to do it, with the Jude Bellingham signing and various other things like that. Or will they potentially unload a couple of players to do this? And is this an opportunity for teams like Liverpool to potentially get a Tchouaméni? Would he come available? Also, we were linked with Valverde and stuff like that, but there's a lot of players at Real Madrid at the moment that have been linked with moves away. But it doesn't look like they're going anywhere unless they trigger this Mbappe deal. But let us know your thoughts on that. But Mbappe, kind of just out there in the ether at the moment, kind of a little bit lost. Hard to know where he's going to go, but ultimately it's going to be Real Madrid, isn't it? But Chelsea apparently working on a deal for this, and would Chelsea have the financial clout? They've unloaded an awful lot of players, they've cut their wages right down. Could they potentially overlay an Mbappe in there? Who knows? Let us know your thoughts. Mason Greenwood's future apparently is going to be decided prior to the season kicking off. As you know, we're just over less than 2 weeks now. The Community Shield coming up this weekend, which is the curtain raising, and the following Friday it all kicks off next Friday week. So it's going to be huge, getting edging closer. Still teams with a lot of business to do and stuff like that. But Mason Greenwood's future apparently is going to be decided prior to the start of the season. Really only two options. He either goes back in the team, they take the flak and the heat on the chin, and we push on and get on with it. Or he goes out on loan somewhere, potentially to reinvigorate his value, potentially looking at a sale. But United couldn't need a Mason Greenwood any more than they do now, so it's a real conundrum for them. But let us know your thoughts on that. I think most people know their thoughts. It really boils down really to two options. I know United have been talking to their key sponsors about how they would feel about it. It's the last thing United want to do is pull the trigger on Mason Greenwood coming back into the club, and all of a sudden Adidas or any of the big sponsors turn around and go, not for us, sorry, and pull out a huge amount of money there. We've seen the new Adidas deal with United. I think it's 900 million over 10 years, 90 million a year, which is absolutely huge. So yeah, let us know your thoughts on that one. Also, Harry Kane, Bayern Munich. It doesn't look like Bayern Munich are going away anytime soon. They want their man. Apparently they're going to push now for an 85.5 million deal. They met with Levy there during the week. I think it was Monday when they flew over and met with him. Obviously those talks went well because they're preparing this other bid. But will Spurs take the deal? Going to Bayern Munich is probably ideal for Spurs, because it means is he's not going to a rival in the Premier League, so it won't affect them. Spurs not in Europe this year either, so they're not going to be affected by a move to Bayern Munich. The risk is if they keep him, he goes next year on a free, and without a shadow of a doubt, he's going to end up at a Premier League club if he goes on a free next season. And that would be terrible for Spurs, because remember, if that happens, we could see Sol Campbell Part 2, because he could well go to Arsenal. Looks like that could be a great project for him. Arsenal crying out for a goal scorer, but let's see what happens there, but that's an absolute big one there, This is the one we were talking about earlier. Napoli have received a bid of 130 million for Victor Osimhen from Al Hilal. Saudi League washing money at the moment, throwing the money around. They've also guaranteed him $1 million a week in wages, which is absolutely massive for the boy. But is Victor Osimhen at the point in his career where it's time to go to Saudi Arabia? Obviously the deal is massive, not going to get that deal anywhere else. But is it time to go over there? And if it is, if a player of that ilk, one of the best strikers in Europe at the moment and one of the most sought after as well, if he was to go to the Saudi Pro League, what does that say? What message is that sending to the top leagues in Europe at the moment? That would be a massive wake-up call. Talks between Juve and Chelsea are continuing over Dusan Vlahovic. Talk is they really want this guy and they're pursuing him at the moment. But is it going to be part of a tie-in deal with Lukaku? Is that what we're looking at here? And those deals are quite difficult to pull together when you go player for player type thing. plus cash or with cash or whatever way it is, they always seem to take an age to come together, because you're trying to satisfy the contract situation of both players. Both players obviously, you know, need to have a desire and a want for the deal to go through against both clubs. But really, these are always really tough deals to pull off and do. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Could be quite prolonged. Juve fans have made no bones about their feel about Lukaku. They don't want him in the door. Inter don't want him back in the door. So Chelsea are quite in limbo at the moment. Ultimately, I think if he doesn't get tied into the Vlahovic deal, I think he will probably end up having to go to Saudi Arabia. I can't see any situation whatsoever where Chelsea bring him back into the fold. We'll wait and see, but it's just this whole Lukaku thing, his career from start to finish has just been an absolute mess. Arsenal looking to put a deal together for Mohamed Kudus to come in. This is an interesting one for Arsenal, because this is a player who plays in a position where Arsenal are quite pretty covered at the moment. So I'm not sure whether that's the place he wants to go. Does he unhinge a player that's in there at the moment? We can also see with Arsenal at the moment, they're in for Raya, the keeper, 40 million. What does that mean in terms of Ramsdale? Surely Raya's not coming in to be number 2 to Ramsdale. Have Arsenal seen something in Ramsdale that they're not happy about and they want to change it? But let's see what happens there. It's a kind of a strange situation on the goalkeeping situation, because he's exiting Brentford because he wants game time. So if he's going to Arsenal, there must be some sort of guarantees about his playing time and whether he goes in as number 1. How would Ramsdale feel about that? Ramsdale, of course, in the England fold. But it's gonna be a very interesting one. Arteta now shown that bit of steel and grit and, you know, little sentiment at this stage now when some of these moves. With Kudus coming in, what does that mean for Leandro Trossard? Could that affect Leandro Trossard's situation at the club? Will Trossard then potentially look for a move away if Kudus comes in, depending on what the pecking order is and stuff like that? He hasn't exactly hit what he wanted to hit, Trossard. He's been decent when he came in, but we know there's been a little bit of bite there between himself and Arteta towards the back end of the season. Some of his decision making on the pitch hasn't sat well with Arteta at times. Fabulous player, great talent and stuff like that, but could he end up exiting the door with Kudus coming in? And PSG have turned down an approach from Al Hilal as well. Al Hilal must be trying to sign all these players. For Marco Verratti, they have issued a 30 million bid to try and prize him out of PSG to the Saudi Pro League. But that approach has been turned down straight away by PSG. It's going to take probably more than 30 million to get Marco Verratti out of PSG. As PSG begin their kind of rebuild, looking at a potential situation, no Messi anymore, a number of other players exiting the building. But that's it, folks. That's your roundup for the transfer business this morning, Wednesday. Of course, if anything breaks during the day and stuff like that, we'll drop on and do some shorts and stuff. Going to be dropping some content later also on SummerSlam as we build towards the biggest party of the summer this Saturday. Also, of course, we have that huge fight at the weekend as well, Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. Might take a look at that and do a little show on it. But as always, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and we'll be back with you again real soon.